Oh, word. This is heating up bigly. Trump today commenting on the likelihood that a lot of Joe Biden's pardons, especially some of the most politically sensitive ones, may not have actually been authorized by Biden himself.
Look, the autopen, I think, is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had in 50 to 100 years. This is a tremendous scandal.
Wow. I mean, I agree, not only because I think some of these people like Mark Milley, like Anthony Fauci and the January 6th committee, I think they committed crimes, and I would like an open and comprehensive investigation so people can confirm that and then bury these people under the jail. But just to show you how desperate these Biden appointees and the Biden staff are, someone trotted Biden out for an interview with the New York Times because they knew it would be friendly to basically say, oh, yeah. I approved all these pardons. Nothing to see here, folks. Really? I don't believe you. This guy, the guy who looks like he has no idea right there, no idea where he is, taking naps, calling lids at 2 p.m., almost his entire presidency. I think some he even called by breakfast, wandering off into the jungle, trying to shake hands with people that aren't actually there, called on a dead member of Congress, having, be directed to where to walk by the Easter Bunny and all kinds of stuff. We know Jill Biden and Hunter Biden were heavily involved and may have even been involved with decisions at the White House. Jill was at a bunch of cabinet meetings, the very seldom ones that they actually held. We know that Hunter Biden was very often on high-level calls, in one case, even overruling advisors on strategy. So I'm throwing the BS flag on the fact that that guy that we just showed you reviewed even the criteria for 9,573 pardons and clemencies, more than any other president. But there's another very strong example of why I don't trust that Biden actually knew about any of these pardons, or at least most of them. And that's because there's another example of executive action that he apparently had no idea of.
He grabs my arm and he says, the speaker and I just need a couple minutes together. Would y'all just leave us alone? And I looked up on the faces of some of the staff standing around the wall, and they're like, oh, no, he did it. Why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? And he looks at me stunned with this, and he said, I didn't do that. And I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed. And I walked out of that meeting with fear and loathing because I thought, we're in serious trouble. Who is running the country?
Biden said in that interview, I made every decision. That's what he said. That's according to the interview in the New York Times. But clearly he didn't, according to Mike Johnson, and that's pretty concerning. And a lot of other things in this interview left things in a really gray area at best, okay? Probably by design to keep themselves from the trouble they're in now, with the piece noting the quite ambiguous flow of information. Here, look at this. Quote, the aides referred to those written accounts of meetings at which Mr. Biden delivered oral decisions known as blurbs. Okay? The accounts were drafted by aides to the senior advisors who had participated in the key meetings. The assistants who drafted the blurbs were not themselves in the room with Mr. Biden, according to the lists of the meeting participants. Seems like a break in the chain of communication and command and a super bad game of telephone that could easily, be manipulated. Especially since one of the emails in question, reviewed by the New York Times from Biden's chief of staff, Jeff Zients, said point blank, quote, I approve the use of the autopen for the execution of all the following pardons. You do? You don't have the authority to do that. It should have read, the president approves, or the president could have actually, signed it himself. This should be easy to dispel. Just show us some directive, something, some record of it. You don't have one email from the president of the United States on any of these? You guys get on Trump all the time. Oh, Trump doesn't have a process, but you didn't have a process. Further leading to the suspicion that most of these pardons and their validity is the nature of, especially with the preemptive pardon. This is crazy to me. Only once have we ever seen pardon of crimes known and unknown, and that was for the pardon of Nixon. That was a former president. The notion that there's these broad sweeping pardons for a ton of people like the January 6th committee and most of their staff, by the way, and you can't produce a single document to show that Biden was even tangentially involved in the decision to do it? And now we find out that staff may have added people to an approved list of pardons after it was approved by someone, allegedly Joe Biden? an entire committee that targeted thousands of American heroes, Trump supporters, veterans, U.S. citizens. Now they're including up to and currently the former president. They tried to nail him to the wall, too. Millions of dollars. You hired a movie and a Hollywood producer to sensationalize the whole thing. You don't have a single document to show that those people, the people who prosecuted 1,600 plus American citizens, were pardoned? President didn't weigh in on that? Mark Milley was pardoned for any potential nonviolent offenses against the United States under federal law or the Uniform Code of Military Justice from January 1, 2014 through January 20th, 2025. That's an 11-year span. Biden saying in the article, "We know how vindictive Trump is, and I've no doubt they would have gone after Mark for no good reason." No good reason? Mark Milley conspired with China to undermine the sitting commander-in-chief, among other things. He admitted to having a call with a Chinese counterpart telling them he would warn them if Trump planned to attack. I mean, what? What? Why would you pardon someone for that? Forget about the fact that he left all of our stuff, $80 billion worth in Afghanistan. Did it have anything to do with the fact that, I don't know, Joe, did China invest $2 billion in your son's private equity? Probably. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Fauci, the guy who, people have been protesting this guy since the AIDS epidemic, okay? The guy who has lied multiple times under oath and been caught, probably why Rand Paul just today formally issued a criminal referral to the DOJ on him. Rand Paul is at least prepared to test the legitimacy of these pardons now that it's confirmed that they were signed by the autopen. My other reason is I just don't believe Joe Biden in this interview, mostly because Joe Biden is a documented liar. He lied about being arrested in the civil rights movement. He lied about graduating the top half of his law school when, in fact, he was 78th out of 85. He has 1 degree, not 3, as he's claimed, not to mention being forced to withdraw from his 1988 presidential campaign for plagiarism. He claimed no members of the military died under his watch, just totally breezing over the 13 brave Marines that were killed in his disastrous Afghan withdrawal. He told us he never discussed business dealings with his son, and it turns out that was also a lie. But also, he said on multiple occasions that he would never pardon Hunter.
I'm extremely proud of my son, Hunter. I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
So do we believe his own words or a non-documented, alleged, sweeping, preemptive pardon of the very person that may have been the one running the Oval Office behind the scenes? I mean, you tell me. Also, this pardon appears to be written vastly different than all the other pardons, so it kind of lends my thought process to, did Hunter pardon himself? I mean, I don't remember Hunter Biden ever being elected to anything. I also don't remember him doing any financial disclosures to meet the requirements for government service. Ooh, wouldn't that be neat? Look, the number of mega DC law firms that are doing this, representing all these people for free, representing many of these pardoned people, allegedly pardoned people, raises a lot of eyebrows for me. The fact that Joe Biden's own attorney very quietly resigned. The fact that everyone is being super quiet and no one's talking. Everybody talks in D.C. This makes me believe that there's some cattywampus afoot here. So Dr. Fauci may be the first one. Let's see how it shakes out. After all, that's how you do it, right, Democrats? You just start charging people with stuff and see if you can convict them. That's what you guys did for 4 years. So you made this bed. Sleep in it.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.